This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the
San Diego Padres.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Padre fan? Welcome to your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Ho-hum. That's right. Another series win for the Padres. 2-1. They beat the Boston Red Sox courtesy of a 6-2 victory this afternoon at Petco. All right, remember, they won the second game of the series 5-4, squeaking by. Yeah, very, very late in that game, putting some runs on the board. The bullpen fantastic again. And then, of course, in the opener, they got smoked 10-2. But they come back in true Padre fashion. The grit, the grime, finding ways to win games. And then you got some of your big dogs starting to pee like them. You know what I'm saying? They're lifting up the leg right at the perfect time. Michael King comes back yesterday, only pitched 2 innings. But Yu Darvish been up and down since he came back. But the one guy who's been here all year, confounding, couldn't figure him out. But maybe, just maybe, Dylan Cease is putting it all together right now. 7 more strikeouts today. Look, he goes 6 innings. He looked like a world beater in those 6 innings. 3 hits through 6, right? 3 hits through 6. Nothing doing. Then the 7th starts. He gives up a hit and a walk back-to-back. He's out of there. Jason Adam comes in. A carnival of errors happens on a ground ball to short. Xander Bogaerts muffs it. Could have been a double play ball. Anyway, it leads to 2 runs scoring. Both of them charged to Cease. My point being, he gave up 2 earned runs on a ground ball that was given up by Jason Adam and muffed by Xander Bogaerts. He turns 2 there. Obviously, Cease ends up giving up no runs. So Cease really on track right now. The offense getting going. Fernando had 2 hits and a walk, scored twice today. Louis Arraez with a 2-run double. Cronenworth, the bases loaded walk, and Ryan O'Hearn with a sacrifice fly. 6-2, the victory. The bullpen, phenomenal again. Adam Morejon. Adam had some jitters, but Morejon was great. Came in, struck out Roman Anthony in a big spot. Crowd going crazy. That was after back-to-back strikeouts from Adam in the 7th. This bullpen is litty like New York City. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at what, David Morgan did. Morgan's been phenomenal lately, too. And then you go yesterday, you saw Miller, Mason Miller and Suarez, just unreal with Estrada yesterday. Estrada's been lights out. Morgan's been lights out. Adam and Suarez a little shaky. Morejon lights out. Miller lights out. This bullpen is on fire. Dylan Cease is getting it done again. And I think this team is poised to make a run. And we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. Right now, you're going to San Fran. Then you got the Dodgers on the road. Then those 2 teams right here back-to-back. Then the Mariners and the Twins. But you think about what this team has in front of it right now, the opportunity right there in firm control of second place in the division and the wild card. You have a chance in this next week to put the Giants away, to stomp on their throats, and to go right at the Dodgers and be like, yo, let's go. Let's go. Hit them with like Jimmy Johnson said, hit him with that fist as hard as you can, 800-pound gorilla, and see what happens. I don't know that the Dodgers are an 800-pound gorilla right now anyway, but, man, what a win for the Pods today. 6-2, they close out the series against the Sox. It's your postcast. It's Grease, G-R-I-E-S, thanking you for making us your first watch or listen every day. Why wouldn't you? Especially with this team playing like this. We're live on YouTube right after the game. Then we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and you down with OPP? Hell no, silly. I'm 53. It's OTT, and it's the Roku. Over-the-top television. We are free there, too. Pods Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. It's Grease. Let's roll.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Another victory. Johnny Drama right there for you. And while you're here, by the way, if you're watching live on YouTube, smash that subscribe, give us a like, hit that bell so you get the alerts when we're coming your way with more content. Myself, Javi Arraez, who does Locked On Padres podcast. Yeah, we got the postcast right after the games, the podcast day in, day out. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for making us your first watch or listen. Thank you for being here on all the platforms as we continue with what looks like it could ultimately end up being a very special season. With all the injuries they had early, with all the inability to score runs, with the bottom of the order, left field, all those disasters. Then the Preller power, the magic of A.J. Preller at the deadline. Laureano O'Hearn coming in, Fermin coming in to be a better upgrade at catcher. The bullpen fortified even more. Michael King returns from injury right after Yu Darvish returned from injury. And now all of a sudden, those boys in blue are sweating. Can't you feel it? Can't you feel that Dodger sweat? I can. What are you going to do? Pitch Clayton Kershaw? They've had injuries at the top of the rotation. Mookie Betts not having a good year. Freddie Freeman off. And they, of course, have Shohei Ohtani. But I think the Dodgers are vulnerable this year. I think the National League is the Brewers right now, maybe the best team, and then the Pods. But the Cubs have been really good. The Mets are sliding away while the Phillies are getting hotter again. And, man, the National League is loaded. It's going to be a lot of fun to see where this takes us throughout the rest of this summer into the fall. Let's see what we have in the comments. By the way, you can comment right in here, and we can talk live on the air on YouTube, on the stream, as we go right after the games. And then, of course, we upload, you download right after that. Oh, here comes the Red Sox fan again. Andrew the GOAT. The GOAT of what? I don't know. And why would anybody want to be a GOAT? Everybody talks about GOAT, greatest of all time, and they put a picture of a goat. Goats are ugly. They eat crappy. Goats are nothing. You know, GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time that was actually coined by LL Cool J. He invented the word and the phrase in a song back in the 80s, maybe the 90s, right? I think it's the 90s. Anyway, shout out Todd, LL Cool J. But I will say this, Red Sox fans will find you anywhere with their special brand of crap that they love to talk. And I'll say this, they're like cockroaches, man. They don't go away, as you've seen this weekend at Petco. And I grew up a Yankee fan, so as you can tell, I really love Red Sox fans. You know what I'm saying? So Andrew the GOAT, at 4:44, he texted this. So this could be really interesting right now, 4:44 East Coast time, which is his time, by the way. The Red Sox are not – oh, no, it's 4:44 Pacific. My bad. The Red Sox are not as good as the Dodgers. I'm a Red Sox fan, but this team can't sweep the Padres. The Dodgers can. That's the difference between these two. That is the worst thing I've ever read. The Dodgers can sweep the Padres, and the Red Sox can't. So that's the difference between – why am I reading this, dudes? This Red Sox team is not a contending team. If they were, they would have swept the Padres, says Andrew the GOAT. The Padres are a pretty good team. The Padres are lucky that this Red Sox team is not as good as the Yankees. Yeah, that's about enough for that one. Anyway, wow, Red Sox fans would be proud to have that guy represent them. But I'll say this, man, Padres with an incredible job this weekend out of the bullpen again. This is where it's at. I mean, you had 6 more strikeouts today on the heels of the 10 yesterday from the bullpen. They don't give up runs. They're striking everybody out. They're not letting anybody on base. They give up a walk and a hit. That's it in 3 innings today. They're picking up out of jams and getting it done. And now you have Cease going well again. Hopefully Yu Darvish going to San Fran tomorrow. Hopefully Yu Darvish can get on one of those little streaks. Fernando really encouraging today. Incredibly encouraging to see Fernando Tatis Jr. do what he did today. He's always going to have the on-base percentage, always going to score runs, always going to play great D, speed, the arm, the stolen bases, all those things. You need him to hit homers. You need him to hit for average. So today, 2 hits, a walk, scores twice, had the RBI single, hitting the ball hard, lining it up. Arraez is hitting .353 in his last 21 games, had the 2-run double opposite field today. Cronenworth, the bases loaded walk. I say every day Cronenworth should be on the bench. Arraez should be playing second, and O'Hearn should be playing first with Gavin Sheets, as the DH. And you have utility guy and Iglesias, a backup catcher, and Diaz with Fermin having done so well since taking over and really learning new pitchers and a staff. He had 2 more hits today. Freddie Fermin did at the bottom of the order. Cronenworth 1 for 2 with the bases loaded walk, a run scored, and an RBI. Bogaerts had another RBI today against the Sox, 1 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. That costly play at shortstop that sure as heck could have really cost them and hurt them in the game today as well. Manny had a hit and a run scored. Tatis, I mentioned what he did. Arraez 2 hits, 2 RBIs in the game today. Man, oh man, these teams and this team and the averages are really creeping up there. Jackson Merrill, by the way, was 0 for 9 in the series. He's been really struggling. You get him going, you get Fernando going. You know what I mean? This is really exciting. Another great catch out in left field from Laureano today. Tremendous defense by this team for the most part, except for Bogey today. Could have been called an error, right? And you can never assume the double play, but it was right to his left, kind of hit right at him. Easy play to scoop and shovel, double play ball, but couldn't get it done, and that was that. But hey, while you're here, smash subscribe, hit the like, the bell, so you're alerted when we come your way with more content. Obviously, myself, Locked On Padres podcast with Javier Arraez. We do crossovers with each other as well. Tyler Hansen says, tell him. He also says Tatis played rather well besides trying to turn a single into a double. Is the slump nearing an end? If only we knew. If only we knew, because Mike Schilt, I mean, how about this? A couple days ago in the press conference, really kind of got on a reporter who asked the question about Fernando struggling, saying, oh, you're going to jump to conclusions on one game. Like, no, dude. He's hitting 095 last 7 days. He's hitting 240 since May 1st. And yeah, he's not hitting homers, hitting about 2 per month, right? And that is not Fernando Tatis Jr. So, yeah, I would say it's safe to call it a slump. And I would say that you hope on a day like today that could help burst him out and the slump could be over. Because remember, that bottom of the order giving him much better protection as you go through the order a couple times than they had been. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Little late for a break. I'll tell you about a couple of deals from our incredible sponsors when I continue with the show. Un momento, por favor. We're going to give you the turning point. We're going to give you the player of the game, and we going to give you a look ahead to the Giants on the road. You can step on the throats of Los Gigantes and bury their season forever. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, 6-2. They beat the Red Sox, win the series 2-1. All right, and I get the chance to tell you about my friends at Game Day Hue. I love Game Day Hue, and I am really excited every time I get a chance to tell you all about Game Day Hue. Just make sure I have the right spot lined up right here. Yeah, we do with Game Day Hue. And I cannot find my hat right now, but you guys have seen my Game Day Hue hat, and you know what it's all about. We love the Game Day Hue stuff here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. But when I'm talking about Game Day Hue, you know the hats that I love to wear. It's the different color schemes that are lined up with the team name that you love. So for Padre guys like me, this one hits the mark. You see the colors right here. The hat has the same. It's all white with the little gold right here. And, oh, man, got the logo. But you don't have the team logo, so it's nice, right? This glove as well, part of the package they sent me. And you get the colors that match your team without all those logos, right? So especially for guys like me, classy, a little bit older, you know what I mean? You want to do that. So it really is dope. Game Day Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. I love rocking it on the course because I always look better than my boys anyway. We're out there playing. I'm like, man, come on, where that drip at? Where are you at? So I'm always one of those guys who looks the part. You know what I'm saying? Look great, feel great, be great. Yeah, so I love wearing it on the course. I love wearing it during the show. You wipe the sweat off right here, and you keep it rolling. The Padres so hot. Everybody's sweating in here. I don't have to put the logos all over it for everybody to know I am rocking with the Pods. No doubt, not just the hats, it's the gloves too. Check it out. Split shade gloves made for the course. Look at that Game Day Hue right there. It's the perfect gift for the fan who has everything. And right now you can get 15% off with the code MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDay, H-U-E, GameDayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals, so now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk, colors, because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, code MLB15 on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. That's right. And dun 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. All right. And sorry about that, guys. Something stuck on me there. Good Lord. All right. There you go. We were doing so great day in and day out. But hey, a little glitch we have here and there. No worries, because August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches for just 24 hours. FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So take a flyer on the MVP race, right? Why not? Lamar Jackson? Is it Josh Allen? Patrick Mahomes with a bounce back year? Who's it gonna be? Crown your champion in August. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? An early pick. How about them Cowboys maybe? How about the Chargers? Who knows, right? Or you parlay your division winner. Dark horses coming at you like a dark horse. So visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. With FanDuel, play your game. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Man, oh man, big one for the Pods today. 6-2 the final. They scored 2 in the third, took a 2-0 lead on Luis Arraez RBI double, driving in 2 runs. And then they added 1 in the 5th to make it 3-0. Fernando Tatis Jr., an RBI single, right? Knocking in a run, one of his 2 hits. On the day, they scored 2 more runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. How about that? When you talk about the Padres just continuing to add runs and pile on, and in that 6th inning, that's when Cronenworth had the bases loaded walk, and then Bogaerts singled to left to score. Manny, why you bugging? In the top of the 7th, it was the cluster F that got Dylan Cease out of the game. 7 strikeouts, by the way, through 6. Only 3 hits, no runs. Then he gives up a walk to Jarren Duran and a single to Story. So then Adam comes in the game. Yoshida gets hit by a pitch right away by Adam. Gonzalez grounds to shortstop. Taylor-made double play ball for Bogaerts. He can't turn it, can't make the play. Next guy up, Abreu singles after the 2-run score. So it's 5-2 at that point. Adam strikes out Rafaela and Toro, who hit for Wong back-to-back. And then Adrian Morejon strikes out Roman Anthony to end the threat. That was a big part of this game. We'll get back to that in a minute. O'Hearn with a sacrifice fly to left field in the 7th. And then from there, it was zeros. Morgan closing it out for San Diego with a great job. I mean, their bullpen was lights out again today. A whole bunch of strikeouts, only 1 hit and 1 walk allowed. And when you look at this series, the last 2 games of this series, what the bullpen was able to do, look up those numbers. I don't have time to give them all to you, but the bullpen these last 2 days, literally every guy coming out of the bullpen, they struck out like 16 dudes in 2 games. It's absolutely incredible. All right, couple of things to do. Short time to do them in. Thank you one more time for being here, first watch or listen of the day with me with the postcast, or Javier Reyes with the podcast. So after every game, I'm live on YouTube. Then after that show, we upload Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, all the audio versions, and Roku, right? Day by day is Javier Reyes. Same platforms, but he's day by day. So sub for him, sub for me. Like for him is a like for me. And La Familia just continues to grow. Couple of quick things to do. Give us a sub, give us a like, hit that bell while you're here. And we have to get these benchmarks in, starting with...
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, so the turning point, I'm going right here. Today in this game was simple, right? It was that inning in the 7th with the Red Sox with Dylan Cease when he came out of the game. So in that 7th inning, Dylan Cease had cruised through 6, right? You're up 5-0. No big deal, right? You're killing it. And it's a big, big performance from Cease. His pitch counts low, so you're like, all right, you know what? Duran's leading off, but we'll be all right. Cease starts the inning with a walk of Duran. Then a hit by Story. So first and second, nobody out. Jason Adam comes in. He hits Yoshida. What's happening now? Oh, good Lord. We're in big trouble, right? It's 5-0. You know, the sacks are juiced, and here you go. Ball hit to short. Taylor-made double play ball. Run would have scored. Would have only been 1. And then, Xander muffs it. Didn't get charged with an error. It's a fielder's choice. Can't assume the double play. 2 earned runs are charged to Dylan Cease. So it's 5-2 at this point in time. All right. And so when you're looking at that situation and it's 5-2 and Dylan Cease is out of the game, right? So you bring in Jason Adam and he hits Yoshida with a pitch. Gonzalez hits that ground ball. You know what I'm saying? So Duran and Story score. Yoshida goes to second. and on first base is Gonzalez. So it's first and second, right? And still nobody out. Okay, this is where it could be disastrous. This is where Jason Adam really had to dig in, and he did. This is your turning point. Wilyer Abreu singles to load the bases. Still nobody out, but get this. Here comes your turning point. Back-to-back strikeouts of Ceddanne Rafaela and Abraham Toro. Adam turned it around, struck him out back-to-back. And then, Schulte comes out and gets him, goes with the lefty, Adrian Morejon. And you know what happens there. Roman Anthony strikes out swinging. There's your turning point in the game because it was 5-2, and the go-ahead run was at the dish. And then, of course, after that, O'Hearn added the sac fly and the extra run, which leads us to...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
We have options for this one today, and I love what David Morgan did. I love the game Fernando Tatis Jr. had, and this is something that you cannot turn your nose up at. And by the way, honorable mentions to Fermin, just calling the game he called, and anytime you go 2 for 4 with a run scored and call the game that he called, fantastic, right? The bullpen pitching the way it's been pitching. That's all Fermin coming in on a new team, learning the pitchers, and just doing an incredible job. So any offense he gives you is a bonus. Arraez had 2 more hits, 2 runs scored, you know what I mean? Just or 2 RBIs rather, and another job, 353 in his last 21 games. So I'm going to go honorable mentions for Arraez, Fermin, and Morgan. And I'm going to give my player of the game today to Dylan Cease, man. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Look, he gave up, he walked Jarren Duran and gave up a base hit to Story to start the 7th. That's deceiving to see those 2 earned runs there. Dylan Cease now back-to-back tremendous starts against just good teams. He's been turning it around, getting better and better. And with Darvish now pitching the next game against San Fran, you're really hoping that these two can continue. And then King adapting and evolving and growing his way back into his spot as the ace. And then, wow, Pivetta bouncing back from that tough loss, and that was just an inning. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens now with Cease moving forward, King moving forward. Darvish gets the start at San Francisco, and that game is at 6:45 tomorrow night. So we'll be here live right after that one. And the Giants, big favorites tomorrow night. Although the odds are not out yet, 65.5% is the matchup predictor in favor of the Giants. Don't have the totals yet and the bets and all that, but Darvish 1-3, 6.51 ERA against Logan Webb, 10-8, 3.24. And of course, the Giants and the Padres have played 3 times already this season, and that would be, they're 2-2 on the season. They had a 4-game series in San Francisco earlier this year. So let's see. Regular season series. They're up 4-2. They had 2 series against them this season. They had a 2-game series. That's right. They had a 2-game series and a 4-game series. Padres won 2 at home in that 2-game series. They swept, and then they won the first 2 games at San Francisco. That's right. I remember that series, and dropped the last 2. All 1-run games. Every game against the Giants in that series was a 1-run game. In fact, a 2-run game and a 3-run game in the first series. So very close games with the Giants this year, which reminds me, I got to get the heck out of here. Don't miss us after every game with a postcast, day in and day out with the podcast with Javier Arraez, and of course, Locked On MLB Game Night for those of you who can't get enough. If you're a baseball head like me, you don't want to miss Locked On MLB Game Night, Locked On MLB YouTube, every night all season long on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for being here, Padre fan, Friar fanatics, and faithful. I really love doing this show. Thank you for being the lifeblood of our network. We'll be with you tomorrow night after the game, 6:45 first pitch, probably about 9:30 with the postcast. Until then, keep your game tight and your mind right, Padre fan. Thank you for watching the postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, and I am out.